341-8255, the New Orleans Talk Network. Listeners are as important as our guests. Join in on the conversation. 504-341-8255, the New Orleans Talk Network.
Hi, I'm Sheriff Joe Lapinto, and you are watching the New Orleans Talk Network.
This is Congressman Cedric Richmond, and you're watching the New Orleans Talk Network.
This is Bishop Samuel Blakes, and you're listening to Real Talk with Mary J.
Merry Monday today. We are in the studio today in New Orleans, and we are talking about from tragedy to triumph. We had a tremendous show. This series has been empowering all month long, but listen, we talked from story to story, from Reva Lavoie, miraculous story as she shared what God is doing in her, through her, and for her. The woman of God is powerful. She's bound to a wheelchair, but guess what? It's not keeping her down, and neither is it keeping her bound. She's able to use it as a forklift, lift up chairs. A Renaissance woman, has her own business and everything. God is doing some great things in her life. And then we had the anointed, powerful Lestine Bell to come in and talk about illegal soul ties, how to break those ties off your life. She shared her story from tragedy to triumph, talked about the things that God has walked her through from her childhood to now as she go forth and give the devil another black eye. So guess what on today, you guys? This is the final frontier of our segment, and God said, Mary J, I want you to share your story. So we're talking about tragedy to triumph on today, and I'm glad that you're here with us to share my own story, my journey of how God took me from tragedy to triumph all in 1 year. But I have this beautiful lady right here, Crystall. Speak to him, say
hello.
Hi. This is Crystall Gatlin. Let me tell you about this woman of God. She doesn't know, she had no clue of why she was on my show. Actually, I invited her to come on, and you're going to see how God took me from one step to the next, because I've been through some things, you guys. May not look like it, right, Crystall?
Right.
I don't look like what I've been through, but you all are going to be in store to see what really was going on with me. But Crystall, I didn't even know Crystall. Have not seen Crystall since the day that I was actually in a fire, you guys.
Right.
So many of you don't know that I was in a fire because I never stopped, okay? That's why we're talking about from tragedy to triumph on today, because I'm going to show you the rawness, the behind the scene, the stuff you couldn't see while I was live on the air. And Crystall right here was actually at the Super Bowl party. I was at a Super Bowl party by my brothers.
Yes.
Came in and I spoke to everybody like, hey, everybody.
Right.
Right? How
Sure
y'all
did.
doing?
Sure did.
And my brother said, will you make the jambalaya? And I said, yeah, I'll do it. I went and washed my hands up. And after I washed my hands, I went to prepare, started cutting up the meat and all, getting the jambalaya prepared. And I started to turn on the stove.
Correct.
while I was turning those switches on the stove, I asked my brother, I said, how do you light your stove? Do you need a match? Because nothing was coming on. And he came in the kitchen and said, no, it should just come on. Just turn it. He turned it, right? So, Crystal, I'm preparing the jambalaya, and I go to put the pot of water on the stove for my rice.
Okay.
When I put that pot on like that, the stove blew up in my face.
Exactly.
See, you all,
Exactly.
they didn't see it, and they were like, you were in a fire, what? I
Yes.
don't believe it, right?
Yes, you were.
Yes, and so it happened so quickly.
It did. It happened really, really fast, and everybody just started running
Yes.
around the place, and then we all just looked, and you got you out the door, and it's like, oh my God, her face is burned.
Yes.
So we started trying to see what we can do to soothe it until we get you to the hospital.
Right.
And so I had some Dove intensive cream.
Lord Jesus.
And that was the only thing that seemed to help. And it was me and my sister Gina. We both had some, and we just started putting cream
God.
on your face.
Yes, let me tell you about this lady here. And that's why I said I walked through the door speaking high, because I didn't even know her.
No, you
had
didn't.
never seen her before. Was at my brother's party, his Super Bowl party this year.
This year.
This was in February.
Exactly.
And I was there, I don't know if it was 10 minutes before this actually.
Right. It was
It
very
took
short
place
time.
so quickly.
Quickly. Mm-hmm.
And when I ran out of the door, my face was burning, excruciating. And what happened when the fire ignited, let me slow this down so you all can understand what took place. When I put that pot on the stove, prior to that, because I was turning on those knobs, trying to see if the stove would come on, evidently one of those pilots were not turned all the way off. I didn't turn the gas completely off. So when I put that pot on, the wind of that pot, the flame from the burner ignited the fire, okay? And my face, when it ignited the fire, I felt the flame. I heard a boom. The stove, the fire came up, and I turned. So when I turned, all of this arm from here to my elbow got burned. And I had on my drawstring ponytail.
Yes.
Ponytail saved the back of my head.
Correct.
Because it burned all my hair. It burned.
Right. It was burned all
was
around
burned
the front. Right.
up. Okay. So listen, we're going to show you these clips of the photos because you don't believe I've been through the fire. I've been through the fire and God healed me in 7 days. Let's take a look at this. Oh my God. This is what it looked like once I got out of the hospital from the bandages and all. Took the ponytail off. The ponytail was burned up. It burned all the back of my hair off.
Correct.
And I had to show this because people really didn't know. And because I was still live on the air, they never saw it. They never saw it.
See it.
And let me tell you about that. It was purpose for me to be live on the air. Prior to that, God had spoke to me while I was brushing my teeth. This was way before the fire started. And he told me that I would be going through a season of affliction. Mm-hmm. And I heard in the spirit out loud, have you considered my servant? And I told the devil, I know you're after me, right? Mm-hmm. I know you're after me. So this is so true that literally I heard the conversation taking place. Well, the devil was desiring to sift me. I heard and I heard him say, if I attack her appearance, if I attack her children, if I attack her health, she would turn from you. So that's why I was so determined not to give the devil any victory over my situation. That's why nobody was ever able to see me when I was down, because I made a decision that no matter what comes my way, I'm going to keep on pressing through this, going through. Now, this is a photo of me when I came out of the hospital, wrapped up My face looked like a mummy, my arm, everything. I was actually sitting on the emergency table, and I didn't want anything for pain at all. And the doctors came in and they were like, okay, why are you not taking something for pain? You need something for pain. And I didn't want to take anything. And it has nothing to do with being religious or being superwoman or any of that. I just don't like medicines, period.
Okay.
I've had a situation years ago where I had, it was an antibiotic that I was allergic to. And once you get those side effects from medications that have caused an allergic reaction, you don't want to have anything to do with it.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
So that's what was going on, and the doctors, they were like astonished, like, how can you lay there without taking anything? They literally had to turn the lights off in the ER for me. They was like, we can't do that. We're going to shut all the lights out. You know, I was like, please. It felt like an egg was frying on the side of my face. Mm-hmm. You know, so you saw it when I was potato red.
Right.
Exactly.
Know,
it looked like a sunburn. I was actually, you guys, burned from the top of my hairline to my chin. All my eyebrows were burned off, my eyelashes, and it got so close to my eye, actually the fire of where the burn ended on the side of the corner of my eye. So I wanted to keep going because I already heard the conversation with the enemy.
Exactly.
And I was not going to let him defeat me at all.
That's right.
And the other thing, my brother, he felt so bad. He felt so horrible, and it wasn't his fault.
And
he didn't have anything to do with it.
He was like, my sister is my sister. I got to find out what's going on with my sister.
And that's why I went live, because I knew that he felt like it was something that he could have avoided, and he could not.
He could not have.
And I didn't want him to be concerned with my face, and that's why I went live on Facebook, and that's why I kept doing the Wild Power Break. That's why I kept doing the Matters of the Heart at night on 10 o'clock on Monday nights, because I knew as long as he saw me and saw me in good spirit,
he would be okay.
He would be okay.
Right.
And I wanted him to be okay. So the thing is, you guys, when we're talking about from tragedy to triumph, it's a faith walk to the end. It's definitely a faith walk. And when you pulled out this, it was a Dove intensive cream. She said, and look, I'm burnt up. I'm burned from and I mean on fire. And she's like, listen, and I don't know her, never seen her before. And she's going up her. She said, look, put this on your skin, put it, and I was like, wait a minute, what is that? Now, I should have taken anything, but I was like, what is that? Because I didn't know if it was Noxzema, right. I didn't know her, I didn't know what it was, what kind of cream it was. I didn't know if it would cause it to burn even more. And I was putting it on my face, and that was your sister, you said? They were putting it on my arm, and she said, I remember Chris said, don't put it on there cute now. You know?
Exactly. I say, put it on there. I'm like, let it, because it'll soothe you until you can get to the hospital.
Yeah. I'm one of those people, I'm telling you, I have a real high tolerance for pain. And I'm one of those people, I do not like to perform. I like to stay calm.
Right.
I'm not going to cause a scene. I'm not dramatic, all of that. So I was actually doing this. She was like, put it on thick, pack it on your face, pack it on. So they started packing it on my face and my hand. And I think I put more on my face than I did my arm. My arm was burning, but my face was excruciating as well. And I really wanted to protect my face.
Exactly.
You know? So I believe that had I packed just as much on my arm, there would not be the scar that you see. You all can't really see the actual scar that is left from my elbow to the palm of my hand. But that was all of the burn, 2nd degree burns. When I went to Two-Row, Two-Row didn't know what to do with me. Two-Row did not know what to do with me. They were like, we don't know what to do. You have to go to a burn unit. And they didn't have one here in the city of New Orleans. I'm like, they don't have a burn unit?
We had a burn unit before Charity Hospital.
Okay, yeah.
But after that, we did not have a burn unit.
So they took pictures. I didn't want anything for pain, so they didn't know what else to do with me. They took pictures, they wrapped me up, and I had to go to Baton Rouge Burn Unit. And I went there, and that's when they determined the severity of the burns, that there were 7 second-degree burns to my face and my arm. But the arm got burned because I was trying to protect my face. So,
which was good.
Yeah. And if it had not been for that ponytail, oh my goodness.
More would have been burned.
Exactly. All my neck would have been burned
Everything.
But if it had not been for, see that? Ponytails are good. They come in handy, you know. But I'm laughing now, but I'm telling you, it was crazy, you guys. But we're talking about from tragedy rather to triumph, of how God just walked me through that. That was the fire, you know, that I had gone through. Before that, prior to that, Chris, I had already gone through so much. Broken relationship. My car was flooded out, you know. State Farms didn't come through. Mercedes didn't come through. I need an attorney, by the way, you guys, a good one. So I went through that. Mm-hmm. After that, following that, I had my shoulder. I had a rotator cuff tear in my shoulder. Okay. Woke up, didn't know, don't know how it happened. Got dressed, and I couldn't move my arm.
Oh my God!
Had not a clue. Went to 2-row. And they said that you have a rotator cuff tear. Have you been working out? Have you been pushing stuff, moving stuff? I hadn't been doing any exercises other than my stretches, you know, and I didn't stretch a whole lot, but that happened. Following that, my nephew was murdered.
Oh, my God, yes.
And that really, it messed me up. Mm-hmm. I was not prepared for that at all. I had just seen him. He had just visited my house. And all of this was going so fast. And following the murder, that happened in December of 2017. Mm-hmm. And then the burn.
The burn was right after, February. February of 18. Mm-hmm.
So I really never had time to really stop and breathe. I never had time to really grieve. I never had time to process everything that was really going on. Mm-hmm. But one thing that I did know, that the affliction was spiritual. Right. I knew it was all spiritual because God had already given me a glimpse of it prior to. So I knew it was spiritual. So we're going to talk about how do you go from tragedy to triumph, to come out of all of that stuff. And I know you're going through a lot. I know it's taking a toll on you. We're going to talk about how to deal with it. There's more to come right after this commercial break. You've tuned in to Real Talk with Mary J. on NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. I am your host, Mary J. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
Here at Jones Insurance, your full-service agency, let us take care of all your insurance needs. We provide homeowners insurance, flood, rental, commercial, auto, and life insurance. Don't let the unexpected tragedy destroy your family's future. Here at Jones Insurance, 7603 West Bank Expressway, Monroe, Louisiana, 772. Contact Lois at 504-348-1492.
Hi, I'm Prophetess Charlene Duforce.
And I'm Bishop Carol Duforce Sr.
And we're from Living Witnesses Ministries.
And we also have a program on the internet called Living by the Word Daily. And we're seen every Wednesday from 11 a.m. to 12 noon Central Time on the New Orleans Talk Network.
And we would like to invite you to tune in with us every Wednesday morning. Again, 11 to 12 noon, Central Daylight Time. Please join us as we teach the Word of God. Thank you, and God bless.
God bless you.
Listen up. Your customers, our listeners, could be hearing about your business right now. Yeah, right now. Don't miss out on the opportunity to advertise with NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. Call our business department today at 504-475-4793 to hear about our great rates. NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. We provide the people, you provide the business.
Merry Mondays. It's your girl, Mary J. I want you to tune in with me to Real Talk with Mary J on New Orleans Talk Network every Monday morning at 10 a.m. Then follow me to blogtalkradio.com/Real Talk with Mary J at 10 p.m. It's going to be a Merry Monday every Monday at 10 a.m. and 10 p.m. You've just tuned into New Orleans Talk Network. With Mary J on NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. I am your host, Mary J. I am sharing my personal journey of how God took me from tragedy to triumph. And I'm telling you, that is just the segment of it for a season. There's been so much more even before then, through the broken relationships, the divorce, and all of the betrayal, all of that you hear me talk about on Matters of the Heart on Monday night. So this is about the fire and the process that I went through, because everything was just back to back to back. So I'm sharing in the studio today with my lovely guest who saved my face from burning to a crisp. Crystall Gatlin on the show today with us. But thank you, Crystall, once again. I tell you, I was on a mad search for you after that.
You were, and I'm like, okay, just give her my number. She can call me.
Yeah. Because I didn't know. I was trying to describe you. I was like, well, she was a nice lady. She helped me. She's tall. You know, I was trying to tell, who is she? Who is she? I need to get back with her, because you pulled the cream out of your purse immediately. Your first response reaction is like, I got something in my purse. Let's get this on her face.
Right.
On my arm. But I went through, you saw the pictures of my hair. Oh, right. My God. Because I'm all natural. Mm-hmm. And my hair was about this length already. Mm-hmm. And I had the drawstring ponytail. And it burns all of that. That ponytail was burned to like a Brillo pad.
It was.
Yeah.
It really was. And all around the front of your head was burned to like a Brillo pad. But it saved your neck. It saved most of the back of you. Oh, because had it not been there, it would have caught all your skin. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And I'm just thankful to God, because I already understood the plan that God had concerning my life. I understood what Real Talk with Mary J platform is about in Matters of the Heart, and I didn't want anything to stop me. You know, when I say never let the devil see you sweat,
exactly.
Never let him see you sweat.
Exactly.
Never let him see you sweat. He has no authority. He has no victory.
And
he is
no
a defeated foe, powerless in the name of Jesus. And I wanted to show how big my God was, how big and mightily my God was, that he went to war on my behalf. So people didn't even know. You know, matter of fact, I had posted a few pictures on my Instagram. I never put those photos up on Facebook. Nobody ever saw that. You know, my brother never saw it. He was calling me, checking on me, asking how I was, and I was camouflaged and playing it off
right.
like, I'm okay.
I'm good.
I'm fine.
Right.
It's just a little burn. I just, have to go for some ointment. You know, I tried to play it down really, really as much as possible, because I didn't want anybody to be hurt about it, to be worried about it. And of course I don't think I even let my mother see my face. No one saw my face. Only my children did.
Right.
My mom actually got to see me when it began to heal. When I started to recover, she was able to see that. So I didn't show that. And the reason why I'm sharing my story to tell you, because so many people wouldn't even understand how you can just go through certain things and never even hear about it, never even know about it. But then you come out.
Right.
So when you come out, the Word of God says that you overcome by the blood of the Lamb and by the words of our testimony. So when you come out, you have to go back and let somebody know about the goodness of Jesus.
That's right.
Know? So I came into the studio, Chris, shortly after the fire. My producers didn't even know. They just saw the pictures for the first time today when they had to put them up on the air. And they were like, oh, my God, Mary, I didn't know you went through all of that like that.
Right.
Because when I came here, I had makeup on. The people at the hospital in Baton Rouge at the burn center said it would take about 3 months for me to heal. God healed my face in 7 days.
God is good.
7 days from top to bottom in 7 days. And I went to war. I went in prayer. Thank God for the intensive care cream as well. And I was pouring mineral oil on my face. I had a friend call me, and they said, pour mineral oil on your face and your skin. And I just began to drench my face with mineral oil and my arm with mineral oil. And I'm going to tell you, my skin, it got scary. It started sliding off my, sliding down like butter. Like rolling off my face. And my daughter was like, okay, Mom, what's going on? This was not a part of the plan. Because when she saw my face, you know, it looked like it was getting worse. But it was getting better, you know, and that's just like the trick of the enemy. You know, when you think that you've prayed, you've asked God, you've made your request known, you go to battle and you stand in faith, it's going to get worse before it gets better. But just know if you keep standing and sticking it out, it's getting better. See, that's one thing that the devil would never let you see your victory. He would always put those things on you to keep you blindsided, to keep you down, to keep you depressed, to keep you in fear, and to have you to melt and to soak in your sorrow. That pity party, I'm not a pity party girl. I will bounce back so quickly.
Exactly.
I might go down for a little while, but when I'm down, you're not going to even know I'm down because I'm still have my game face on.
All right.
You know, you have to know your opponent.
Exactly.
And when the opponent sees you in your weakest state, that's when he knows when to come in. That's when he knows that he's gotten you cornered.
Right.
So I couldn't show that.
Right.
So my daughter was like, Mom, that wasn't a part of the game plan. What's going on with your face? You know, I said, it's okay. And I kept smiling. I said, it's okay. It's going to get better because I know what God had already showed me. And Crystal, you know, sometimes when you go through these challenges and these battles, because I've had some people where they didn't even see the story. They didn't see my face, but I would do little snippets on Instagram, and I would say something like, you know, I've gone through the fire, but I've come out. You know, I'm even stronger than before. And you'll hear people contacting you, and they have their own little opinions about what's going on. You know, you get so tired of that church stuff, you know. God is strengthening you. Okay, yes, he is. You know, well, Mary, you know, sometimes you just got to slow down because, come on, right? I want to give you the dial tone right now. I really, really do. But I know you're concerned.
Right.
I know you're listening.
Right.
You know, sometimes God got to use stuff to slow you down. God did not have to break my foot to slow me down. He did not have to have me to go through the fire to slow me down. You know, so that's when God kept reminding me of Job. I had one person tell me, well, you have to be careful of your energy and the energy that you give off and, you know, and what's going on around you because that can have a negative effect on you. And all of that stuff is wonderful. But all of that can really, like, you know what? You know, when people don't understand your stand of faith and what God has already said, once you get in your ear and in your spirit what God has already told you and those things he said concerning you, all of that other stuff is just noise.
Right.
You understand?
I understand.
It's just noise. You're saying all of this. I call it yang yang. All of this yang yang. This is real talk. All this yang yang. That's just noise.
Right.
I know what God said concerning me. I heard it. And, you know, and he reminded me of Job. Because Job was an upright man in the sight of God, you know. And God spoke to the serpent and said, have you considered my servant Job? Job didn't do anything wrong. You know, I could imagine that Job's friends were saying, oh, Job must have done something wrong. Oh, he must have sinned some kind of bad. You know, he has balls all over his body. Now he lost his land. He lost his children. He lost his wife. He lost everything, his cattle. He lost everything that he had. And I started hearing that when the people were saying, oh, you got to slow down. Oh, maybe God trying to get your attention. Oh, it might be the energy. I was like, okay. All you need is one word from the Lord. One word from the Lord, Crystal, would change every situation and everything concerning what everybody else has to say. And then it would sound like noise to your ears. And that's all I heard was noise. So in the midst of the noise, because we're talking about from tragedy to triumphs.
Okay.
Letting the people know how do they get through it. In the midst of the noise, you have to silence your mind. So those things that came before you, came up against you in the last season that you dealt with differently. God would allow you to be isolated so he can talk to you and you can hear him loud and clear. So now people are not calling anymore. They're not saying, Mary J., you know what you're going on now? Let's go do this. Let's go do that. They're not calling. They're not saying, let's go power walk. Let's go walking. They're not. I don't hear any of that in this season. You understand? I don't hear any of that. Like, where are all the people at, in this season? But I knew that was the hand of God. I knew what God was doing at that time. And what he was navigating in my life at that time. So you lose relationships, you lose friendships, you lose some very things that you thought were of most important to you, that you will see that it does not matter in this time. I can see Job thinking about all of it and all of his what was against him, everything that was coming against him, opposition, destruction, everything that was coming against him. And I can imagine him saying, it doesn't even matter now.
Right.
I refuse to curse my God. I refuse to go to God and be mad at God about what I was dealing with at the time. Some things I did not understand, but I still yet trusted him because he gave me a word. He gave me a sneak peek of that enemy coming to sift me. So, Crystal, right after all of that, coming out of the fire, rotator cuff tear, woke up, it was torn. Don't know how it happened. Might have slept on it. I don't know what happened. Couldn't lift my arm up. Going through that, losing my nephew to murder. Then I go through, of course, the fire, come out of the fire, dealing with, my daughter had a difficult pregnancy at one point that she almost lost my grandbaby. So I'm in the emergency room with her. All of this is
all together.
Back to back. I'm in emergency room with her, and I'm dealing with all of this. Of course, the devil wants you to sink. He wants you to go down. He wants to break you down and all of that. So I leave there. I have to come on the set leaving her in the emergency room, and she was okay. She had gotten to her room, and I remember just getting in the car on my way to the show, and I began to war in the spirit. I began to pray out loud, Father, in the name of Jesus the Christ, you promised me, that you would take me through this all. I said, God, I trust in you. See, this is real. People don't know the backstory about what you have to go through and endure and how you come out. But I began to pray to Father of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. God, you are a deliverer. You are a healing. And I speak to her womb now in the name of Jesus. Came on this set. Nobody ever knew that I had just gone through from one thing and had to put on a smile, had to put on the face. My guest actually at that time was Drea Marie on my show. And we were talking, and she was telling me her story about how she lost her mother, then her brother, and all of the stuff that she had been through. And while she was talking, my eyes began to well up, right? And you can't see it from the camera, but she spotted it because I'm like this with her. And she said, oh, no, you're not about to cry. You're not about to cry on here. But she didn't know that I had just come from the hospital, just battling and praying on my way here. But I prayed a prayer, and I knew God would answer, and I knew God would do just what he promised. And I am a happy, proud grandmary now to my baby Morgan Amare, and my daughter is doing well. Healthy, healed, and whole in Jesus' name.
Yes, right.
Healthy, healed, and whole.
Praise God.
Tell me what God cannot do. In the midst of the tragedy, you guys, there is always triumph. We're going to continue to triumph in victory. We're getting ready for our next commercial break, you guys. We don't want you to go anywhere. We want you to sit right there. Go share this. Go like this. Have someone to tune in with us on today, because we're going to tell you how to continue to stand strong in the power of the Lord. Yes, put on the whole armor, because though the enemy comes against you, no weapon formed against you shall prosper. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
And I want to encourage you to join Church Without Walls every Monday morning from 11 a.m. to 12 noon.
And we want to encourage you to promote God's plan and not man's plan. Don't you dare miss it.
Hello, this is Dr. Glenda E. Williams.
This is Charles Stewart. Dr. Anthony Williams.
Are you looking for a home to live stream your next event? Give us a call here at Bethesda Community Event Center, the only place on a golf course that can host and broadcast live your wedding reception, your baby shower, business seminar, and any other special event. Give us a call at 504-708-9454 for more details.
Oh, how the time flies. What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Dr. Rhonda M. Lawson. And can you believe that it has been 1 year since Horizons with Meet the World Image Solutions hit your airwaves? We have interviewed authors, entrepreneurs, playwrights, musicians, and everyone in between, all to bring you the best in literary conversation. And we plan to do it again this year, but only better. So join us right here in the Literary Lounge each Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, right here on the New Orleans Talk Network. See you there.
Now New Orleans has a choice. Download the New Orleans Talk Network app for your mobile device or listen at www.neworleanstalknetwork.com.
Break. I hope you, before we went into our commercial break, listen, we're talking about from tragedy to triumph, and I have the beautiful Crystall Gatlin sharing with me on today. For those of you that need to catch up with the show, go back. If you following this show, you'll be able to find us on YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. So you'll get segments of that. Go to Real Talk with Mary J on New Orleans Talk Network. You'll be able to find us there. And then you can also find me on my Real Talk page, Real Talk with Mary J, okay? Because we want you all to share this, and I know that it's going to bless somebody's life as well. But I have Crystall sharing with me, and we talked about my journey as I went from one thing to the next thing to the next thing, just tragedy after tragedy. But, you know, it didn't stop me, but I didn't give in either, you know. I came right back, Crystall, on the set following the burn. And when I came into the studio, the producers was like, oh my God, because my arm was still raw.
Right.
They were like, "What? Why are you here today? You know, why are you here?" But we have some more photos to show you, because let me tell you, when you see, and I posted the other day, when, you know, when the devil sends you lemons, just squeeze.
Make lemonade.
Just squeeze. That's it. Look at these photos. So this is what happened after the fire. Because my hair is all natural, that I shampooed my hair, and I did my hair myself. All of this is after the fire. I put my own weave in myself, all of that. But this right here is my hair. This is my hair. My natural hair right after the fire. My eyebrows were still a little burned off. You can see they were burned off. I didn't have any eyebrows on the end. I lost a lot of lashes as well. But I shampooed my hair, conditioned it, and I just flat ironed it straight. And I took those photos and I put them up on Instagram. I always believe that you have to have a point of reference. You have to show the devil. You have to show the people who are watching you that you're able to come through this thing strong.
Right.
And when somebody sees or hear your story and they see how you came out, you know, they understand that they're able to come out, that they're able to be strengthened, they're able to get stronger. So I had to post that photo where I was just like, okay, you know,
Right.
because that was my black eye to the enemy. I was like, you thought you had me, but I'm coming out of this thing. You know, you thought you had me, but I'm going to show. Right here is when I put my weave in after I did my hair. And you couldn't even tell. I had makeup on for the set. That was my first time back on the set following the burn. I was still a little burned on the side, around the edges of the side of the face, but the way that I was actually on set with the camera, you couldn't see that. So that was just a little bit of it on the side. You still can't really see it, but that was my quick weave. That was my quick weave that I put in my head, and I went on that night to do our Matters of the Heart and my Wow Wednesday, where I pray for other people. So that's why you have to give away what you need. You know, I pray for people all the time because I believe that prayer is also seed. So when I'm planting seed and I'm planting seeds of prayer, I believe that God would dispatch his angels on my behalf. He would cover me. He would have people praying for me. There's somebody all the way in another country right now, in another state, another city, that is praying for you, that God would put you on that person's mind. You don't even know who they are. They don't even know who you are, but they're praying for you on your behalf. So I believe that. So that's why I went to war on Wednesday, right after that, immediately following. But when I came into the studio, I actually had a band on my arm. It wasn't the ACE bandage. What I did, there's some therapeutic coverings that they give you at the hospital, surgical coverings. So what I did, I cut it, and I had it just here so my fingers can still be out. And I put one on this arm too, so it looked like it was a style.
Right.
So I had these white surgical gloves on. I don't know if the producers have that. Guys, do you have those photos of me? I'm actually in white with a white top, and I have on, my hands are up. You would see a part of a sleeve from a glove. Whenever you get that, you can put that up there. But that is how I was able to continue to actually do the show live without showing the scars. You know, they didn't get to see that. So, in talking about from tragedy to triumph and where we are, is to deal with it firsthand, to understand that you are a woman of faith. You know, you're going to war in prayer. You're going to stand strengthened in God's armor, and you're going to continue to work the works. Meaning, don't lose focus of your purpose.
Right.
Don't lose focus. And my purpose was to continue to pray for people, to continue to talk about the matters of the heart. Yes, those are the photos right there. So I kept going on through it all, and nobody knew. So when I would talk about the fire, they would be like, "You were in a fire? When? How did that happen? I never knew that." You know, I always saw you. They were able to see me because I kept moving, I kept going, and I kept reaching higher. So when we go through these tests, you guys, you have to understand when I say never let the devil see you sweat. No, because he doesn't get the victory over your situation. He only knows that you're defeated is when you open up your mouth and you begin to speak defeat.
Right.
When you begin to speak negativity, when you begin to show, you know, how low you are and how bad off you are and how down you are. That pity party thing will keep you stuck, because when you deal with that, you're not activating your faith. You know, he will allow you to focus in, Crystal, on all of the stuff that's coming up against you.
Right.
Then to deal with the victory that you have in Jesus the Christ. So I made sure that you all were going to see me all the time. And I believe that your best presentation is yourself.
Right.
So it is whatever you want the world to see. You make sure that you send out the best image of you. And then I'm a branding girl.
Right.
You know, I believe that. So that's me right there. I had burns on my arm, and that's why I had that on. So to make it look like it was supposed to be there, I just had them on both arms, right? And I wore that white top with it. But that was from my YouTube that I did with Matters of the Heart on YouTube. And then it didn't stop, Chris, because I broke my foot.
Right. After all of that, then a broken foot.
Jesus. I broke my foot, you guys, and I broke my foot in two places. Not one, two places. I broke the top part of my foot, was walking through the door, pulled the door back, and there was just a little lip that the floor wasn't leveled. and I fell forward. When I fell forward, I'm assuming maybe my leg went under I don't know what happened, but I fell, broke it across the top.
Okay.
2 places my foot was broken. Went from being wrapped up, you know, to crutches, from crutches to a wheelchair, because the crutches had bruised my underarm so badly. It was rubbing into my side. It was so hard. I have so much respect when I see people, because it seems so easy. You know, when you see them on those crutches, I got the hang of it, but just getting around and hopping on one foot in the house and trying to get things done. Then my mom, she got me a wheelchair because she didn't want me. She saw what it did to my arm. Thank God for mothers, that mothers will be there with you and see you through. So she didn't want me bruised up. She made that work. She got me a wheelchair. So I'm rolling around in a wheelchair. Coming to the studio, on the set, had the wheelchair in the out there in the car, from the wheelchair to my crutches in here, back on the set. Broken foot. You never saw my foot because they don't show my shoes on the set. You don't see my feet. But I went through it. How do you come out, guys? We have 2 minutes, Crystal. And thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming on with me and helping me. I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. I thank God for you, for being right there at the right place at the right time, and you just reacted. You responded so quickly to take care of that.
Of course. Anytime somebody's in need, if I can help, I'm going to be right there.
Yeah, and you're so sweet.
Thank you.
Sweet. Give me a hug. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Did I drop your mic?
Yes, you did.
Okay, they'll still hear you talking on the show. But guys, listen, from tragedy to triumph, you never know what a person is going through, so you can't always expect them to be there for you, because they may be dealing with some stuff on their own. They may be dealing with some stuff that you don't have a clue what they're going through. So just be encouraged, be in faith, be empowered. Don't lose your purpose. I always say stick to your why, whatever it is that you were supposed to do, why you're supposed to do it, to know, and you stick to that, and don't let anything stop you. Don't let anything detour you. Don't let anything stop you from doing, what you were called to do. I hope you've been empowered and inspired on today's show, from tragedy to triumph. And I can tell you so much more, but I told you we had to get it all in an hour. In an hour, you guys. So you tuned in to Real Talk with Mary J on today's show. Thank you for my lovely guest, Crystall Gatlin. Crystal, did you have a happy Merry Monday today?
I did.
I'm going to have you back on the show.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to have you back on the show. Okay, guys, we're out of time. So stay tuned for more Real Talk with Mary J every Monday on NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. I am your host, Mary J. Follow me tonight for Matters of the Heart at 10 p.m. on Facebook Live. We're going to talk about the broken lenses. There are broken lenses in your life, those things that will be foggy in your life where you can't see clearly. You're seeing double vision, but guess what? God is going to give you double for your trouble, all right? Stay tuned with us on tonight. There's so much more to come. It's awesome. I'm so glad you came.
As important as our guests, join in on the conversation. 504-341-82